What's up, guys? First, like always, I want to thank you for being minimal members. Amanda and I really appreciate it. I'm super happy you're back here. I hope you got a lot of the calories video and the workouts that we have back here for you guys so far. Today, we are talking about intermittent fasting. What is it? And I'm super passionate about spreading this because it has changed my life and that of so many others I've worked with. It is the easiest thing I've ever found. It was intimidating to me when I was hearing about it years ago. But once you understand what it is, it will change your life if you're willing to keep an open mind. And I think you are because you're back here. So let's dive right in. So intermittent fasting, we need to come up with a new name, but it has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. This is how our ancestors ate a long time ago. Think about it. Cavemen woke up. They didn't gorge themselves on what was there because they didn't know if more was coming in that day, right? So they woke up, went about their business, went out, hunted, gathered, whatever it was, and then brought back whatever they had for the end of the day, right? So typically we ate around campfires, and this is how we evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. The agricultural revolution happened maybe 10,000 years ago at the earliest. There's some reports of it being a little bit earlier than that, but point is, in the grand scheme of human evolution, it wasn't that long ago, right? It takes tens of thousands of years for human DNA sequences to change. So people are so confused and wonder why this breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack, and they can't lose weight. It's because our bodies are not designed to run like that, right? So when I first heard about intermittent fasting personally, I was like, this is not for me, because I thought I have muscle, I don't want to lose muscle. And then the people I saw doing intermittent fasting, it's like, yeah, you lost a lot of weight, but they looked gaunt and skinny and just bony, and I didn't want that, right? But I kept hearing about it, and it's touted health benefits and all this stuff. I was like, all right, I gotta give it a go, I gotta give it a try. So I started doing a ton of research. And for me personally, I had gotten into great shape with the eating every 3 hours thing, but the discipline required to maintain that, I just didn't, I'm not that disciplined, right? And so I was like, there's got to be an easier way. I can't keep going through my life, you know, especially with what I do on my own billboard, right? So there was this constant pressure in my head about I needed to maintain the absolute tip-top shape, but for me to do that, it just didn't line up with my values. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and you know, I have a beautiful fiance, and the whole thing, like, just it doesn't line up. It didn't line up because we'd go out to restaurants, or you know, the girls would want to go get ice cream or pizza, and I'd have to come up with excuses or some reason why I couldn't do it, or just plain say like, I can't have that. And there's just no way to live. So I kept looking, kept searching, as I always do, and I always will. You know, my studying has not stopped here. It's going to continue on forever. But the point we're at right now is magical. It's remarkable. It's incredible. So intermittent fasting, the way that we teach it, there are many different ways to do it. It's just simply, in layman's terms, it's going a period without food and a period with food. So everybody does some form. You're not eating when you're sleeping, right? So technically you're intermittent fasting, but what we want to do is create a long enough window where there's no food, no calories coming in, that we allow the body to do what it does best and burn through the fuel sources, the primary fuel source, which is food, so that it can then get to the secondary fuel source for most people, which is fat, right? So that is the goal of everything. And when you're sleeping for 6 to 8 hours, you're immediately getting up and eating food again, your body hasn't processed the previous day's energy, so you're not giving it a chance to tap into that secondary fuel source, which is fat. Does that make sense? It should. What most people do are stacking energy, which is food, on top of energy, on top of energy, on top of energy, and they're like, why can't I burn fat? You're not giving your body the chance. If it has that fuel to go off of, it's gonna burn through this first in order to get to the fat, right? So that's the simplest way to explain it. Though there are many different ways of intermittent fasting, but for the purpose of this video and to not keep you guys here too long, we're just gonna talk about the one we use, which is the 16-8 intermittent fasting, which simply means you're going 16 hours without eating and 8 hours with eating, right? So you have a 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window, right? 16 hours sounds like a long time, but guess what? If you stop eating around 8 p.m. like most people do, and you just skip breakfast and you start eating at lunch, you did it, you got there, right? And the way I want you to start, if you've never done this before, is start really small. So be smart, check in with your energy levels. It's okay to feel a little bit of hunger. People freak out from when we're babies, if you know, our stomachs rumble, I need food. You don't need food. Your stomach is rumbling a little bit because it's burning through that fuel. You might feel a little hunger, but as long as your mind is clear, you're not dizzy, you know, your energy is good, keep going, keep fasting. So to get started, the way I have people do it the first few days is try to go to 10 a.m., 11 a.m., bring a snack with you to work just so you're safe. You got an apple, you got a Quest bar, or some type of protein bar, whatever it is, with you, so that if you get dizzy, you get a little faint, eat, okay? So just ease into it. But just like if you watch the calories video, Dr. Mark Hobb ate nothing but candy for 60 days, your body transitions remarkably quickly. So give it 3, 5, 7 days max, and you're gonna transition, men and women. There's, if you search this online, you'll find, oh, women shouldn't do it. Most of my clients over the years have been women and done it successfully and remarkably well. Some of the testimonial pictures that you see are women that have done intermittent fasting. So men and women, it's great. But again, ease into it, be really smart, okay? Now, the windows are super flexible. So I use the nurse example. I've had a lot of nurse clients over the years that have crazy schedules, or if you're traveling in different time zones because you're in business, whatever it may be, you can adjust the windows as best fit you. You're just trying to go that on average 14 to 16 hour window without eating, and then you eat in that 8-hour window. Very, very simple. Technically speaking, you can eat as often as you like in that 8-hour window. However, I want to give you guys the what has worked the best if you're dead serious about this, which again, you're back here, you're watching this video, you're serious about it, you've taken these steps, so I know you're serious. So what I'd like to see you do and how I'd like to see you start is lunch. Just have lunch, a good balanced lunch. We'll talk about what that comprises. A snack if you need it, but eventually I want you to ditch that, and dinner, and that's it. So ideally you're just going lunch and dinner, and I want you getting to that within about the first 2 weeks, okay? Now what you're gonna need to do is figure out lunch so that it is filling enough to carry you to dinner, right? So I always I like to use the Cobb salad example as what I would go for lunch, because we want fiber, we want protein, and we want fat. The combination of those, one is pretty low calorie. Fat does have more calories than protein and carbs, but you want some fat, the fiber and protein. That combo will really keep you full. So if you have a good big Cobb salad with like a light vinaigrette dressing, that typically will do to carry you to dinner. And what I do, for example, go out to a restaurant and get that, I'll go double protein on that. So the net caloric intake there is maybe 600 calories, 700 calories, as long as you're not going overboard with the bacon and heavy dressing and stuff like that. So for most people, your caloric limit's gonna fall somewhere in between, say, 1,300 if you're really small, and 2,000-ish, even if you're a bigger guy and you're trying to drop weight. So that typically will leave you a good 700 plus calories for dinner, and for most people that is more than enough, right? So I want you to start there, and then dinner, of course, you're featuring protein as the main source. So always build your dishes around a protein source. So if you're gonna have pasta, great, but let's try to get some protein either as an appetizer or along with that, just because you also have a daily protein minimum, which we're gonna talk about in another video. But intermittent fasting is nothing more than that. It's creating that period of time where you have no food coming in, right? And then a period of time where you have your food coming in, right? So very, very simple. What people miss, or the people that I saw over the years that weren't looking great doing the intermittent fasting, is their calories were really low and they weren't getting enough protein, right? So we're gonna talk about protein in a separate video, but to find your daily protein minimum, which is super important when in a caloric deficit, because your body can burn through muscle tissue if you are burning a ton of calories and your protein levels aren't adequate. Think about like a distance runner. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the types of people that I saw, that's how people looked that were doing intermittent fasting when I was learning about this stuff, and that's why I shied away from it for so many years, because those people are not getting enough protein to protect their muscle tissue while in a caloric deficit. So think about it like that. You're not even trying to build or get big, you're just trying to protect the tissue you do have to keep your metabolism up high, keep you looking good, keep you feeling good. So to find that your daily protein minimum, and you're gonna track this with that MyFitnessPal app, take your goal body weight again and multiply by 0.7. Again, this is all in the notes, so you don't need to memorize this right now, but that is your daily protein minimum. So let's keep it really simple and say your goal is 100 pounds, which is crazy life for anybody, but you're just 100 times 0.7 would be 70 grams of protein for the day, just as a simplistic measure, right? So that is your target, right? And I want you getting about that much protein every single day. If you're coming in at like 65, it's okay in this example, but I don't want you routinely coming in at 40, because over time you will lose muscle, and that's gonna kind of sabotage everything we're trying to do, which is build up your long-term metabolic rate. So staying lean and in your best shape becomes effortless and you don't even have to think about it. So really, really important. That's all intermittent fasting is. The last thing I'll leave you guys with today is the amazing health benefits. So a lot of people think like I don't want to, it has some type of unhealthy. If you do a Google search on intermittent health benefits, intermittent fasting health benefits, you're going to see pages and pages and pages of results. Prominent heart doctors are coming out now and talking about this, how remarkable it is. There's cellular repair, life extension benefits. It prevents disease. It's great for diabetics. Like, there are so many health benefits to go beyond just fat loss and adding muscle. Human growth hormone levels naturally boost in the body by as much as 2,000% in some case studies, which is crazy, which is the only way I can attribute getting stronger in a caloric deficit. This is the strongest I've ever been and the leanest I've ever been with as much freedom as I've ever had nutritionally. It's incredible. So there are so many benefits beyond just fat loss and putting on muscle, which is why I'm so passionate about this stuff. But the ease of letting your body do what it does and not having to think about food 24/7, and then being able to enjoy. My dinners are my favorite meal of the day. That's typically your social time, right? That's when you want to kick back and relax after a long day. You want to sit down with your family or friends and not have to worry about, oh, I only have 300 calories left because I've eaten 5 times today. You have this big, nice, filling dinner. You feel like $1 million, and the bigger dinners also carry you through the next day, making it easier to get to lunch the next day. So there are so many different benefits to intermittent fasting in general, and this is the way I teach it and what I've had the most success with. And I always tell people my success rate with clients over the years was kind of varied because I'd have the people that were super disciplined and the people that weren't. These people saw great results. It was amazing, awesome, but it wouldn't last, one. And two, what about all these other people that didn't have crazy superhero-esque discipline? Since introducing intermittent fasting, it's been a hockey stick, right? So now people that get it, people that are open-minded get it, and it just sets their life on a whole new course. It's remember that quiet pressure I said on my own billboard at the beginning of this video? I don't have to think about that anymore. I go take my daughter to get ice cream, whenever we can. I love it. We got dessert in the house, stocked all the time now. I eat cereal, post lunch. I have a cereal a lot of times for dessert, Lucky Charms. But it's remarkable, guys. So hit me up with questions. Let us know what you think. Stay open-minded. If what you're doing hasn't worked up to this point, you've got to try something new. And this is that something. This is the easiest system I've found in 20 years of doing this. And again, the more and more and more evidence that comes out about this stuff, and again, it's been around forever since our early ancestors, right? So don't be afraid. Try something new. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.